It's in a video game, and there was an interesting interrelationship between technology and what we were doing from the visual side.
It was the beginning of a new era of technology for video games. This was a new era of the technology behind the graphics, where just you sat up and you're like, wow, that's amazing. I mean, the fact that Doom 3 was released, and most PCs, even like our top-of-the-line PCs, could not play it at the level it could be played. It was made for something further down the line. You know, I want to be 5 years from now and just crank that thing up for, like, you know, 1200 by 1200 resolution and just go, yeah.
With the same number of sort of data that had to be crunched through the computer, we were able to render much more lifelike, much more realistic, almost ultra or hyper-realistic environments and characters in the world. And so when people saw the game for the very first time, when they sat down and experienced it in a theater at E3 in 2002, we had to remind them that what they were showing was actually being run in real time and was not sort of an in-game cinematic or a movie that had been drawn up beforehand and was just being played over again.
In the first 20 minutes, I was screaming like a little girl when things started to pop out of the shadows. It's this great spook house. It's this, you know, fun house ride where it's like, oh God, I don't know if I want to go into that room.
We could go beyond players' imagination with things that, you know, literally would jump out at them through walls, from the floor, that they couldn't even conceive of, maybe even in their worst nightmares.
A lot of people got exactly what they wanted from Doom 3, which was the Doom experience all over again, but this time, it's the Doom experience times 1,000. It had these creatures that were now, you know, drooling. You know, that when they snarled, it wasn't just one frame animation, mouth open, mouth closed. They would get in your face, their mouths would gape wide open, you would hear them, the lights would go out, something would shatter, and now the room is filled with spiders.
It took these kind of crude designs from the time and really fleshed them out into far more terrifying creatures. But you knew what they were, and it was exciting to see them that way.
Bravo team, entry secure. Move in and take positions.
Doom 3 was like a huge gaming event. People were lining up in the stores. People were very excited for it. The graphics were everything they were said to be and more. It was slower paced. There weren't hordes of enemies like piling upon you. It was just kind of a different take on the same game.
The early Doom games had a lot of memorable moments where you were just mowing down crowds of creatures, while in Doom 3, it's much more up close and personal, where a specific monster will terrify you. It's sometimes seeing that one particular monster that comes out, scares you to death, and you run away from and hope you're not getting run down from behind.
Every publisher and every game developer wants their Doom. That's the effect that this game and this franchise has had on the market, in my opinion. It's the one game that no company can ever have ever again, because it hit at the right time, it had the graphics, it had the sound, it had the technology, and it had the fans.
People devote sometimes hundreds or even thousands of hours of their lives in playing these games, and so the game has a place in their life that's even more than it holds with the people who develop the game.
We don't do testing, focus testing and group testing and things like that. We're gamers. We love to play games. We know what we like when we see it, and we basically work on a game until it's something that we think is cool.
I look around at how big it's all become, and it all comes from just a few of us sitting in our office trying to make a neat game. And over the years, the neat games have become much neater and things have gotten bigger and better. But it's been this process of we just sit down and we work on our tasks and things that we have to do today, things that we're working on for the next project. And we build the games, we care about how they come out, we want them to be good. And they have been good and they've been successful. And here we have millions of people that have really enjoyed the products, and it's heartwarming.